I got top 16. In Swiss, I went 8-1 and got fifth place in Swiss. So I'm extremely happy with it. I got this mat, also got some nice pools. Anyway, for this deck profile, this mat is more fitting.
Perfect.
Okay, so you want me to get into it?
Yeah, of course. You want to start with the main deck?
Yeah, of course, of course. So I have quite default ratios like two hydrant, and then I guess impulse isn't really default, but it's really good. It helps going second, just getting engine on field or attacker. I also play attacker. Just think it's really
Also
good.
incredible in the Pearly matchup.
Yeah, it's fine. That doesn't really come up. That's not really what you use it for. It's on field effects. Sure, it's really good, but the issue with it is you need to use your normal summon on it,
Also,
unless you already have attacker. Sorry, engine, which you can summon impulse if you already have lifter or something on hand.
right. Also, just a note for the audience: do not use this in the fire matchup on your opponent's turn. Don't give him free Hita.
Oh, I actually do. It's
Really?
not. It doesn't really matter that much. Because it just doesn't matter too much. You just plus too much off of it, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. That's actually. Yeah, did it ever come up in your games where you just kind of plus so much that even the Hita didn't matter?
Uh, I didn't open impulse too much, but like in fire matchups, even when I used it, they didn't heat up
Gotcha.
because that's just not part of their line. So you need to go through IP to get that full combo on board.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um, anyway, one lifter, free lifter, please. I want the three lifter. I need them.
Oh, agreed. We're down bad for Lifter. We're down bad for Lifter.
Yeah, the impulse targets also really good opening them. Um, just they are really good extenders. Together with hydrant, they are all two card combos because you can just normal hydrant this,
Right.
and then you have like two bodies, and then you can go into turbulence, which
Okay.
is really good.
Because you go like because the line I usually go with that is like I go like Hydrant, Fire Attacker or Fire Engine, SP, then go to Turbulence.
Yes, that's basically what you do, unless you have like a preventer on hand or something. But that's generally what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. And also your impulse target of choice. Do you use Fire Engine or do you use Fire Attacker normally?
I generally use. It depends on my hand because if I have, if I have already have starters, like if I have lifter on hand, like doing this doesn't plus as much because then I need to summon lifter from hand, and I could just normal summon it instead. Then I can just go attacker for to dig for board breakers um, or just more extension. So it just depends on my hand a lot.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's situational, and you think it's worth it to have both for the situational
Yes.
awareness.
And if you open one and you have impulse, you could summon preventer to on top of that already have an interruption on their turn. That didn't come up, but it is a possibility.
Fair enough. And you run. I'm assuming two preventer.
Yes, I am running to preventer. Just think it's the best option. You could run three, but I never really missed the third one. You can always just basically, oh yeah, alert added from grave. It's fine. It's fine to run that too.
Right. Like
Think three is just too bricky.
also, yeah. I mean, three is kind of like it's always tempting though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I don't think it's. I've never done it. It's just not worth it. Then just the standard two turbulence. Don't mind. One is collectors, one is ultra. I ordered my second collectors, but it hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah. Do you ever think do you think it's wrong to only go with one turbulence because you can recycle it with
Yes,
HQ?
it is very wrong because like yes, I summon turbulence. Fenrir banish face down. Oh damn, I don't have a turbulence anymore.
Fair enough.
So just Like even if it gets like banished face down in some kind of way against Kastira, because Fenrir is just rampant, you just lose it forever, and you just don't want that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, no, just don't get greedy. Just run the two.
Yeah. Then the very standard 3-die Bellstar. Not going to go into that.
Yeah, we don't need to. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
Let's go into Hyd. Oh no,
yeah.
OSS into Hydrant. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, here's the main reason why I decided to go back to the deck, and that's Regulus. Like in this format, like because like the other fire decks can't really make omni negates anymore. I just feel like having playing a fire deck that still can make an omni negate is really good. And having this as a main deck option, sometimes you just open it and you start with the Abelstar, discard a machine, and then you can just summon Regulus, and then
Well,
oh
yeah,
yeah, everything is protected. You just have an omni negate now.
yeah, no. Like, and also, can't you use that to protect against? Depending on your hand, if you play, if you route correctly, you can actually protect against. And also, you got to mention the Hydrant the Hydra interaction as well, because technically,
No, because that doesn't really come up. Sure, it's something that can happen if equip hydrant. Hydrant is on field, so like your stuff does get boosted. But I never really did it because you want hydrant on field. Because if you use Regulus's effect, it's not on field anymore, and then you can't reborn it anymore because you need to use rescue to get a rescue monster on field.
fair enough. Yeah,
And like in the tournament, I opened it like way too much. I opened like 8 times,
right.
so
But hey,
so it
and
carried a lot.
he didn't summon it only once, right?
No, no, no. I summoned it like at least once every match. And, unless you are, I guess Quantal, then I didn't summon it against you.
But hey,
um,
hey, it's only in features when it breaks.
I guess yeah, yeah. I opened it game 2 at that feature and just I just wasn't able to summon it, but I guess yeah, 2 Valers is good. Then the one Poplar, it's fine running 2, but just running 2 is just a bit too bricky in my taste. It is fine to open it, not nothing about that. It's just fine to open it because it's just a hydrant plus a body, which means you can like go to a link 4 free, but it's just not good enough, and you generally don't open it anyway. It's like a 0.8% chance you open it with bonfire, so it's fine.
I think it's like 1.3, but yeah, minuscule.
Yeah, for me it was 0.8 because I only run you'll see because first I'll go to the one of spells, which is a original, of course, a Rhoda, of course,
More lifter.
basically, or impulse. It did come up that I just went full combo and then just okay, Rhoda for lifter, for impulse. Then just one of every rescue spell. Of course, 3 emergency, but we'll get to that later. Then the reason why the chance for me is lower to open bonfire plus poplar is I only play 2 bonfire.
Ooh, that's spicy.
The re- the reason is because I don't have money.
Poverty. Ah, yes, the classic reason.
Yeah, I just only have 2, so it's I only could run the 2, so that's why it was a lower chance. But it still happened too much. It like happened more than I opened bonfire alone for somehow.
The variance, right?
Yeah, no, it's like bricking, I guess, but also not because I basically won everything. I'd never bricked technically, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you can resolve turbulence, you're in a winning position.
Generally, yeah. I once one time I did resolve turbulence, but I was already too late because I just only had turbulence and that's it. So I couldn't. So I just didn't have enough to stop the opponent from playing again because that was turn 2 that I started on. Anyway, to emergency.
Mm-hmm.
I will not. I don't have to say much about that.
Just does everything.
uh, yeah, three wanted. Yeah, I'm wanted. I think I opened Dia Bellstar more than wanted, sadly, but
Right. Which,
oh well.
yeah, at least we're not at least we're not the OCG where it's like limited to one.
It's to, wasn't it the two on us? Oh no, it was Master Duel.
Yeah, no, that was Master Duel. No, I think it's
Right.
one in OCG. Let me double
Yeah,
check.
yeah, it is one in OCG. Luckily, I hope they won't hit this deck because I kind of want to play it for for European Championship, but that depends on how the meta evolves. Then the three prosperity kind of default. It's just really necessary to play. You otherwise you technically only have 10 starter one card starters. Although I don't really play the deck as a one card starter deck because the certain lines are just everything is better if you have like an extra rescuers monster on hand or just an extra extender. Everything just gets so much better. Then I guess a bit spicy in this format is I play board breakers, so three talents, three econ, and three droplet. Like when I picked up the deck again, like I used to play it like it was the first deck I ever played, and when I picked it up again recently, um, I started with hand traps, but I decided to. Well, my sibling said like, "Oh, you can just switch to board breakers because you are so low non-engine because it's only nine non-engine. It might just be better to play board breakers because they are better card quality for like you plus more off of them." Other than like hand traps, because hand traps are like always one for one trades. I guess econ is that too, but it's like, oh yeah, take Appaloosa. That's a
Or
lot
like
better than just stopping something.
dodge in perm.
Yeah, dodge imperm too. One game, my hand was two econ, contain, uh, bonfire poplar, and then I drew for turn emergency. Their board was Apo for two plus a set imperm, a flamberge, and a IPN spell trap. So how I won that was hoping they didn't use Appaloosa on Poplar, which they didn't. So a normal Poplar effect, change field. Then I changed Econ to take Appaloosa, and then when they did IP effect, I just tried to negate with Appaloosa, and then they impermed, and I was like, okay, Econ take IP, so they can't use it, and they then for some reason didn't use their princess. It was a bad player.
Yeah,
It
fair enough.
was round two, I think.
I was gonna say if they had goddess in their deck, technically it still goes off.
No, they couldn't because they only had Flamberge on field.
Oh, they only had Flamberge. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. More people have said this, but these performed extremely well. It's just I think the Rescuers is just because you want to run so much engine in this deck and like a lot of gas and a lot of starters, board breakers are just a lot better in this deck, and uh, like econ droplet play a lot better into boards than the deck normally does with only hand traps, because hand traps are rampant in this format, as most people know, and imperm like hand traps are the most common ones you can expect, and like having a way to dodge them is just insane.
Yeah,
And then talents is just so versatile. It's crazy.
right now, like talents, like honestly, sometimes just especially if it get crazy, if especially it makes crazy hands go nuts because like you can just take like go like tactics, steal their hand trap, and then just go off.
Yeah, that's and the feature in game one. I did really misplay there, but so what happened was I special Diabel, discard HQ. I was thinking about discarding talents, but then I realized I knew he was on Tenpai because I saw him around the top tables. Um, so I was like, okay, I will keep talents in hand. I will discard HQ because this is over in his turn or my next turn. So I just thought I don't need that follow up. I summoned the Abelstar. He used Failure. I did not immediately use talents. I normal summoned Hydrant to that Hydrant effect, and he let it through, which lost him the game because then I could just talents, look at his hand, take put back Valor, summon Turbulence, or summon five, set four, forces Nibiru, and then IP plus rescue for Hydrant, and then guess he had Duster top deck, but it was annoying how much he opened them. It didn't really matter in the end, so it's fine.
Right, but Talons does do a lot of work, especially just also like you ever use the draw two effect on that card during your tournament?
I used it once, and it did not matter. I think, if I remember correctly, I'm not sure because it's been a long weekend.
Yeah, no.
Uh,
Hey, you gotta get up early yesterday, so I understand.
yeah, and then just the basic two traps. Nothing special
Yeah, literally
there.
just like the two no re, and there's also the spicy third trap, but we don't talk about it.
Yeah, yeah, reinforced, but it's I do cite it to for Tenpai and stuff, but I it didn't really use it. Anyway, to the extra was the package for Regulus. This was like the best part of the deck this weekend. It was just, oh yeah, I summoned this and like a lot of people when I summoned Puslamino, they were like, "What are you doing?" And like because they just didn't know the deck. They didn't even know that the Ibli lock was a thing. I think,
Yeah, no.
but like, but
Yeah, like yeah, it's been like something that people started developing recently in the Rescue Ace discords.
the was it you that started the regular
So
stuff?
what
Like,
happened was like I was like bored, so a friend mentioned just running Regulus without the Puzzle Mino stuff, and then what happened was I think it was an IP combo. I realized Puzzle Mino was a card, and I realized you could do it with Sargass, and then I started
okay,
developing it. I got some friends in the Master Duel server to help me get the one card combos, and then I also helped develop like the two card like Nibiru and Perm safe combos. So I
yeah,
developed one.
but that was for Master Duel specifically. So yeah, I did the 1.5 card combo because that's just the best one. I don't really didn't what in Master Duel you have like two card combos, but in the TCG, Link Karibo does not exist, which makes it so those lines do not exist
What?
here.
Do you want to go through the
Um,
1.5 card combo?
uh, I think that I'll do that after I showed everything.
Got you.
I think it's just better to go through everything. But this was just kind of the best part of the deck, and yeah, it's so good.
No, yeah, it's also just sick tech, and it's kind of like it gets people off guard.
Yeah, no, like a lot of people after the tournament, when they saw me playing like Regulus and stuff, they were like, "Oh, that's so cool! I really like that." It's because the end board is just insane. You'll see it later. Then just anima, just very default. You need it for like two card combos for like if you have Hydrant plus Prevent or Turbulence, but it's also just really good to like force an Apo negate because Apo points to your field too. So it's just a really good card, and sometimes people don't play around it. So it didn't come up that much, but it's still really good. IP and I guess also SP, but SP is just mandatory.
Yeah.
IP is more of a option. I didn't use it too much, but against Tenpai, I specifically make it to out the field spell because there's no real other way to out it. Um, because IP into SP. Um, I did watch like Joshua Smith's stream earlier today. That was about. He said like, "Oh, on summon five, I could summon SP to protect my board from Nibiru." But my plan was to basically force him to use. I knew he was going to use Nibiru anyway, so I was planning on ending on IP because with Preventer and the token, I could make IP and then summon Hydrant back, or if he nibs on Preventer summon, which he eventually did. Um, I could make it with Hydrant plus the token, which is a bit worse, but it's fine because you can just rescue Hydrant. So you use your traps first, and then you use IP. And I still had like a banished turbulence, so I could also just use emergency to send Preventer to summon the turbulence to still have Hydrant on board. Uh, didn't use it eventually because he just went battle phase immediately and kicked over it. Kicked over it with the nib. I mean, I guess it wasn't game, and then I just won the game afterwards because I had too much follow up. I guess I didn't have too much follow up; just had hide on top field, but that's besides the point.
Well, yeah,
Um,
Hydrant's good follow up though because you can just search like Preventer or Turbulence.
yeah, definitely, it was really good. I did already use my two preventers at that point, so I just searched lifter because I didn't go through that. Normaled it, add alert, add preventer back from grave, banish turbulence, and then just OTK easily there from there. Anyway, the charmers, just basic default. They are really good for extension. No need to go into them much more. Then we have Sunlight Wolf. Uh, didn't come up much, but the theory behind this was if I didn't open Diabellstar, my end board would not be able to get to Appaloosa. Um, so I would have, or with like the one card combo for Regulus, I would end on this, then summon Regulus to the point this points to, and then add back Lifter to still have the follow up of that because you only have one Lifter, and then you just immediately can normal summon it your next turn, which is just really good. It didn't come up sadly, but that doesn't really matter. Celine again, really good extension, and it's just like the charmers. It helps you like build a board. It can make you go to Apo with like Diabell Star with like the Regulus combo.
It's also nice.
Makes your board even better.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Go ahead.
I was about to say it's also nice because it's an extra attribute for access code.
Yeah, true. I although access code didn't really come up. I'll talk about that later when I show access code. Then the mandatory princess, and I guess also the just the Sealantis OTK stuff. I did not play this until like a week ago. The reason why because my extra deck was very tight. Um, I I played like a unicorn and a what was it? The Ambler Whale. But this was the MVP of this was just too good. I use this a lot more than access code. The reason why I eventually went to it was because of Melodious. Because their stuff floats, sure, but only if they leave the field from face up. Face up. So if I just do Sealantis, flip everything face down, they don't float anymore. Also, they aren't fusion summoned anymore, but still, I just flip everything face down. They don't have their interrupts. And with Sealantis, once I was able to go Appaloosa into it, and then into this, and which turned off all the interruptions my opponent had, and just let me OTK basically. Didn't OTK, but he had no follow up, so that was really good. Appaloosa, I kept talking about it. It's just so good as an endboard piece, and it's a link for so It's a link. It's for link one for
Did you
Sealantis.
ever did you ever do the play where like you have at the at the start of your turn at the start of turn three you like use Appaloosa to go into Zealantis?
Yeah, as I just said. So one game I was against someone from my locals. Um, I just had full combo, so my full board with Appaloosa and Regulus. He went into battle phase, used evenly. Okay, I negate another evenly. Okay, chain D barrier and keep Appaloosa. So everything is gone except Appaloosa, and I still had wanted an original engraved, so I still have follow up. And I used my two Appaloosa, I think wrongly there, but it didn't really matter because he needed to use his entire hand to at least make something, and he only had one interrupt, so I just did Sudantis, and then just forced him to use his one interrupt, and that kind of, and then I was just able to do some damage, and we had like 2 minutes left. He's a really slow player. It's so annoying, but it's fine.
Man, like slow judge,
Yeah, I was tempted a lot of the time to just
but
call
that's
the
like then that's like
judge.
kind of like you have an awkward social relationship at that point.
Yeah, and he's also not good into losing in time because he gets very salty, but that's not really needed to talk about.
And another story.
Yeah, access code. I do play it. It's didn't really come up. I only made it once. That same match with the evenly. Um, I mainly used it. I mainly use this to outboards instead of OTK. So if I have like, okay, I already went battle phase to like force something, I then I just summon this to just have 3 destroys, and then just out get their follow up gone, and then just have like my back row, and then that should be enough to OTK next turn. So that was extra. And now we go into side. We have 3 draw. I was considering Nibiru. Was like between Nibiru and Droll. Decided on Droll because I feel like it's a bit better this format. It feels weird to say that, but I think it is. Because like Tenpai doesn't care about Nibiru. Also doesn't really care about Droll, but it's Droll is, I guess, better against it. Didn't side it against it
Like
though.
you get like
But
because you get the field spell and then you get like some of their others, and that prevents you
yeah,
from doing other
I
stuff.
guess. But the main thing was like Snake Eye Fire King or just Rogue decks. I saw it against Snake Eye Fire King Volcanic, but he had called by for it, so it didn't matter. And I saw it against Blind Second Striker Snake Eye, and then that just stopped his turn. It was just over at that point because he started his turn with like, okay, I go standby, he goes main, he goes standby main, activates Widow Anchor on my Hydrant, chain Wanted, chain Droplet, and then sent the 2 spells plus a Snake Eye Ash. Okay, I say okay. He negates my Appaloosa and Regulus and Hydrant. Says take over. No, it's already negated, and you don't have 3 spells in grave. and I draw on res, and he can't play because he also had an engage on hand. So if he would have started with like engage, and then Widow Anchor, and then wanted, and then the droplet for 3 with the 3 spells, it would have been completely fine, kind of. It would have been mostly fine. Would have still been hard, but that's it's just a really good card.
No, yeah, Droll's like one of those cards where it's not good in every matchup, but oh my god, when it's good, it just dominates the game.
Yeah. Bestials, I was quite afraid of like branded with gimmick puppet lock. And it's also decent against Snake Eye. I did in like the last round of Swiss, I did Magnamut on his IP. Um, Didn't matter in the end. I still lost that game, but it was pretty good because yeah, it's just a really good card. They are just really good cards. I did see it against Branded, so it did pay out for the deck it was against. Meant for. Um, it's just they are just really good cards, and it did really well. A Duster and Lightning Storm. These are the only cards I would have not played in hindsight, because like I talked about it. As I got some questions in the Rescuers Discord about like what I would change about the deck afterwards. These are the only two cards I did not side at all in the entire tournament. I never sided this because just wasn't against like decks that needed their back row or like rogue matchups or like I guess stun. Thank God I wasn't against stun.
Thank God, right? Every day,
Yeah,
every day I pray we never face stun.
and I only faced two Tempai, which I'm also happy with. But
You ever play against Lab?
no, I just didn't see it. Like I didn't see any back row decks, so it just did. I just didn't need them, so
Yeah, like
it was
Rescuers.
fine.
Yeah, Rescuers is not that popular right now because of Lifter to one.
Regular Rescuers is not popular because you for you to be able to play the deck, you need the exact same cards you need for Snake Eye, and Snake Eye is just better. I played the deck though because I like it more. I know it way better, and I feel like a lot less people know it nowadays, which also just helps with the stuff. And if they know a different version where people use SP to dodge Imperm Turbulence. And I've never done that because I think people are stupid and will not Imperm Turbulence because they will use it earlier because they know you can protect Turbulence. So you kind of abuse that knowledge. Three Cosmic, kind of against Tenpai to out their field. Did use it once in like the seventh round, and it's just really good. It's just a good card. And here you have the one reinforcement side. Um, it's a decent card against Tenpai and stuff. Didn't I did side it in, never used it. Once at locals, I did like open it, so I set it. I got Dustered, didn't have Regulus, so I just did reinforce on my Hydrant. Then I did on resolution of the Duster, reinforce had rescue, and then I was able to use rescue um, on like a target of his that he wanted to revive with like the green dragon, and then he wasn't able to OTK because he just didn't have the bodies for it. Tenpai, everybody, a monster quick effect monster reborn wins you the game apparently sometimes. And then for the last side deck cards, it was D Barrier for Tenpai, for Melodious, and for Branded. Main. Those were the decks that I actually opened it against and also sided it in against. So
We love drawing.
basically every time I sided it in, I opened it.
We love drawing the sideboard outs.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean I did Prosperity for it once, but it did really perform really well.
Also, quick question. Did you ever see the Tenpai do that? Isn't there like a theoretical alternative Tenpai line where they can use like Zealantis and Blazing Phoenix to OTK
Um,
through
so what
Dimensional
you
Barrier?
generally do to avoid that is you only really use Dimensional Barrier when they actually go into synchros. So then it's already kind of too late for them to try to do that. Like if they only have like a way to actually play in the battle phase, you can just okay battle phase. If you try to synchro, I can just flip D barrier and then I'm fine. Or just in the start of the battle phase because then they can't like do one effect and then one other effect.
So you're saying the Zealantis line is kind of fake.
It kind of is. It is possible, I guess, but it's kind of fake. I think. I looked at my feature match against Quantal. and I don't think he actually played that line because it's just not good. Anyway, you wanted me to show the 1.5 card combo line, right?
That would be perfect.
All right. So like the optimal line is okay. You need any rescue ace card, just any not card, any rescue ace monster. So I'll use Impulse for example here. A Diabell star and just any card. I'll just do a wanted here because it doesn't really matter. It's a quite simple combo, I guess. It's not hard to get. Just summon Diabell, set original, summon Hydrant. With Hydrant, you grab Lifter. Lifter adds Emergency. Then here's where it diverges from the one card combo. I guess with the one card combo, you would just do like Emergency for Turbulence, when Tribute Lifter. Here you Tribute Impulse. You still do summon Turbulence because you do need Turbulence. So you summon Turbulence. Then you do the set 4, which is always, unless you opened, of course, one of the other spells, but it's always Rescue and Alert, and then the Extinguish Contain. And then you always do Alert immediately to Search Preventer. Again, if you open Preventer, you don't need to do this. Then you also just set. Yeah, you probably still set alert to grab like engine or attacker to like extend more. Then you can then instead of ending on an Appaloosa for 2, you end on an Appaloosa for 3, which is good. I guess it's really good. So here you go do the weird stuff. You link these two off for where is it? For Buslamino. The enabler for this line. Use Preventer, banish Hydrant, which is very important to banish Hydrant here because otherwise you don't have Hydrant on field. You have the Turbulence or Impulse on field at the end of your combo. It's fine, I guess, but you want the Hydrants on the field, but preferably. Here you just do Buslamino, make level 4. And do this, summon add Regulus. Here I'm not sure what is better to first do what you prioritize more. Like if they didn't use like Nibiru here, you can just get punished. Like you summon Regulus Nibiru, you need to negate there, and you just end on Appaloosa for 2 plus the Hydrant. And then you might get punished for that. So if you think Regulus is better, which I kind of do, is you just keep Regulus until you summon Appaloosa. And then I guess you can be punished on like the Selene, and then you don't have Hydrant on field. But who cares?
What are the 3 spells in your graveyard?
And they are always, so if you don't open Wanted, it's Original, Emergency, and Alert.
Gotcha. Just wanted to make sure for the audience.
Yeah.
And
So it's basically guaranteed for you to have the 3 spells. Here you need to do mandatory Selene to gain counters, and then you'll do Preventer to summon Hydrant back, because of course. Then Selene summon Diabell. Keep in mind that something a friend of mine did not realize. Selene can also summon from hand. So if you if you go into this without starting with Diabell Star, you can just summon Diabell Star and immediately use its effect again to set something for follow up or stuff like that. Which I generally don't want to set. Like if I already have original, I kind of don't want to set something else because non-engine is just really good in this deck. If you have like a board breaker, you kind of want to set it. And if you set something extra with Diabell, you won't have space for it. Here you have the Appaloosa for 2, and then I just do regulus. Depending on what I have banished, so if I have like an extra rescuous monster banished, I will put preventer here because then preventer will trigger if I negate something. Just gives me an extra rescuous body, but that doesn't come up too much. So then I just put Sargas here because it just doesn't matter. And then this is the end board, and in this case, I can want to draw one. It's just extremely strong. It's never really been broken. I guess with 2 evenly, but that's 2 even.
Because that's like 3 points. That's 6 points of interaction. Because you have the rescue, you have the contain, you have the extinguish, you have the 2 Appaloosas, and you have the regulus.
Yes, and you generally don't need all the interactions because the traps do already do so much.
Yeah,
Because
because
like
contain is a premium interaction. Because contain is just insane.
contain is crazy, extinguish is crazy because okay, Flamberge, bye bye, no Flamberge for you.
Or like, I'm guessing it never came up, but like, did you Bell Unchain ever come up?
No, never played against it. But yeah, at locals I did have played against it, and then it does come up. It is just really good. It's just really good. Like against tier, against any deck that floats, it's insane. And rescue, I used it more to summon my own preventer back because the Book of Moon is also really good, but to use it as like a revive of your opponent is also really good.
Yeah,
So
that's
because
what's nice about it.
they
It's just so damn flexible.
yeah, it's and these two are just oh yeah, Omni negate. There is a small issue I have with Regulus, but I'll talk about it later. And Appaloosa is just Appaloosa. As my sibling calls it, it's a floodgate. Kind of, because you just can't activate monster effects until it's done empty. Um, so my issue with Regulus, yeah, I have an issue with Regulus, is that it negates the effect, not the activation, and it does not destroy. So the main issue with that is that you can't negate the Tenpai field spell. I only realized this after day one. Don't remember if I used it, but um, it is something to think about, and it's really annoying because you can't just activate field negate. Because I was thinking of because that was kind of my answer to Tenpai was just negating their field spell.
Right. Like also I was gonna say was there's also the but it's also good, but it's good against branded because it doesn't that like get around branded lost.
Yes, that is true because you can just negate the effect of brand fusion. It's kind of like Ash in that regard, so that's fine. It's just annoying with like field spells and stuff because field spells are broken. Yeah, that's kind of it for the deck profile. I think.
Do you have anything else you want to plug before I let you go?
I guess I want to thank everyone for my locals and everyone just my sibling for like helping me build the deck and my locals for being such good players because like quarter of top 16 was from my locals like Nick Devlin, Dave forgot his last name and damn I keep forgetting the third one. I forgot his name, but it was 4 from my locals, including myself, which was really cool to see. But just wanted to shout out to the locals and to my sibling for testing with me so much.